Welcome to Dan AHG YouTube. Endurance Ugiagbe. They send direct message to Monday Okpebholo, the Edo State governor. He say Obaseki government sold government reserve wey dey village. He say to look for place to farm now na wahala. They no get place to farm. Make I leave you, make you hear from Endurance Ugiagbe.
This is evil. Now as we speak, people are fighting over where to farm. My friend, Dr. Tunde, the director of Basley Company, said at least is adhering to the federal policy of paying minimum wage 75,000. See, let me make it clear to you. If it is 75,000, we have a lot of people that will never work in that company, in Okpebholo community. You know why? Myself, I'm a farmer. If I sell one of my cassava farms, I can pay somebody minimum wage for complete a year and a half. Just one of the farms. Greetings, good people of Nigeria. Greetings, good people of Edo State. Greetings to you, the executive governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo. Please, I'm going to be very direct. Before now, we sent a message to your office, sir. This is an appeal to the Edo State governor. We sent a letter, the 17 villages in Oriomo. We sent a letter to your office over the government reserve issues. Sir, this is just to vehemently resend the message that have been transcribed and be sent to your office. Sir, please, this needs an urgent attention. Your attention is needed. Yes, we are not ignorant that we have a lot of issues in the state that you are tackling. But we also want to let you know and project before you that this is very, very important as well. Because a lot of people have been rendered useless. A lot of people have been rendered nothing in these villages. The only source they have to earn a living is farming. And now the reserve has been taken away from them. As I speak to you, people are now fighting over lands where to farm, which has never happened before. Please, sir, my fear is for these people not to diversify, to start looking for how to survive. Then probably some of them might start using some unethical processes in order just to earn a living. And when this comes to play, your attention will also be needed. The rural area that we believe is very peaceful will become riotic. Why am I saying this? The former administration did not put into consideration the welfare of the people before taking the decision to sell out the government reserve. Yes, we all are aware that the former governor of Edo State, His Excellency Obaseki, came before the public and told every village that you have rights not to allow anyone to run activities in the government reserve if you are not interested. And agents were coming to tell us that they need the government reserve from government. Same government who came out before us to tell us we have rights. We told these people we are not interested. But they kept coming. Before we knew it, they were able to penetrate our people. But when they came last time to my village, they said some few numbers of people in my communities are coming to tell them that there is free land in the government reserve. We told them the 4 people coming to you are not the entire community. Despite they might have 1 or 2 positions they are occupying. You can't tell me 4 people can decide for the entire people. We told them we are not in support. The Dai as at then said is not in support. They went away. It was not quite long. What we heard was that our community leaders have signed that the Basley Company should take over the government reserve. We said, what? We went to the Dai and said, why did you sign? He said, signed what? Why did you sign for the government reserve to be sold out? He said he did not sign anything like that. We told him you signed. And he said he's not aware that the people who brought the document for him to sign, never told him is about government reserve. That he was told that water project is coming, so he has to sign. In 2 or 3 meetings, he has said this before the entire community. But what do we do? Before we knew it, the government facilitated the whole process, and Basli Company started operation in the reserve. We as people, we stood against it. We cried to the government. We went to government house so many times to protest. We sent petitions even against the youth leaders and few numbers of people. They were occupying positions that also facilitated the process. They didn't do anything to them because the government actually planted them to carry out the sales of the reserve. I know many times I went to the reserve with my people to work out the soldiers and the people, the tractors. But before we knew it, they reinforced. When I looked at the whole scenario, I told my people, this is not what to fight about. We just have to follow this in a very diplomatic way. Because if we have had it head on, probably a lot of us will not be alive today to be speaking. But we went on disagreeing for any activity to take place. At the time we fought and fought and fought, there was nothing we could do. We now said, okay, fine. Fine. Other leaders now came together and said, okay, let us go to the forest. Since they said the land has been sold and our Dahi has signed. We went with the director of Basli Company, Dr. Tunde. We got to the forest and we were able to peg where they would take. Because in the forest, we have a place that we have never farmed all our lives. If you get there, big giant trees. So that was the area we said, okay, they can take. And the area is so stupendous. But these people agreed and left. Before we knew it, they came and started working there. They were setting out the boundary. Before we knew it, they started working in the areas people have been farming. Because in these areas, we don't have trees any longer there because people are running farming activities there. We went, why is it so? Mr. Dude said the whole land was sold to him by the government, and government only told him to give us 45 hectares for buffer. We said, what? But this was not what we aligned. And he said that one was just a verbal agreement, but what is in the written agreement is what is going to work with. We told him, you are aware that a lot of us did not take side with this written agreement or whatever. We even told you the fraudulent activity that played concerning the written agreement. This man did not listen to us. He has been a very good friend. Let me be very honest with you, because myself, I was able to approach him. After we spoke, he was so surprised. The way I spoke to him, we shared contact and we began to, to communicate. We communicated to an extent. I told him to please send me the agreement that was signed. Though he sent to me the one that was not signed. But he told me this is the agreement. Probably he doesn't want me to see those that have signed. So there was a column for the Ojo were ready to sign. There was a column for the governor to sign and all of that. I still have the agreement up to this very moment. And when I looked at the responsibilities that Basli Company promised to do in different communities that they are taking over this reserve, their reserves, I smiled. I called Mr. Tunde. I said, how is it right for you to give transformers to villages that don't have electricity? Of what use will it be? You see, I now began to wonder, where on earth will a sensible person sign such a document? Our former governor we know to be so eloquent. See, I've come to the final conclusion. The ability to speak anybody's language is just smartness and talent. It has nothing to do with intelligence. Time has come, we begin to appreciate even governors in our states, even though it's just only Bini or Edo language the governor can speak. But for as much that person has the sense to direct, the intelligence to implement policies that will help our lives, instead of cajoling them and using them to do comedies because of how they speak another man's language. There are many people who speak Yoruba language, but they never went to Yoruba school. It's talent. Probably they just lived in the land for some few years and they start speaking the language. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with the fact of checkmating whether somebody is sensible or not. I was surprised that the former governor signed for transformers to be donated to villages without electricity. No provision that electricity will come to those villages. Communities that have no light, communities that have no water, you had the mind to come and take their only livelihood from them because you think it's government reserve. Without having a proper statistics of how many people running activities there. Okay, like my friend Mr. Tunde claimed, he said that the money that have been remitted to the government house has shown that it's only 45 hectares we have been farming. That is not true. That is not true. What we have on ground is stating that we have been farming in nothing less than 350 hectares. Yes, the person that have been collecting the permit and remitting to the government house is so clear today that he has been fraudulent in remitting what he has collected. What is government supposed to do? To hold the person responsible for giving fake reports. But because the government is just interested in the land, they didn't even trash that aspect. But rather, they started working with what the person has been remitting. The areas that he said we have been covering. But when you came on ground, you found out that the area we are covering is beyond 45 hectares. Now, where my friend Dr. Tunde, the director of Basli Company, stood and had this video, he sent to various social media's handle. You all can attest to it. You can see people farms around. Cassava that they've destroyed. Is that forest? That's not forest. But I'm telling us that we still have stupendous land in that same government reserve that we have never touched. If you get there, big trees, because they are running away from the responsibility of removing those trees, they chose to work in areas people have been running activities that will be very easy for them. This is evil. Now, as we speak, people are fighting over where to farm. My friend, Dr. Tunde, the director of Basli Company, said at least is adhering to the federal policy of paying minimum wage 75,000. See, let me make it clear to you. If it is 75,000, we have a lot of people that will never work in that company, in Okpebholo community. You know why? Myself, I'm a farmer. If I sell one of my cassava farms, I can pay somebody minimum wage for complete a year and a half. Just one of the farms. So, how do you expect someone like me to come to work in Basli Company receiving 75,000 naira? It won't work. The same way I can't work there, a lot of us can't work there. These are the things that the government ought to have put into consideration. People who are masters of their own, you want to enslave them to become employees in Basli Company. That is evil. The director, you can attest to what I'm saying. Even as we speak now, we don't have up to about 4 people working with you from my community. You people are bringing people outside my community to come and work. No one has come to tell you they want to work. Because we are so comfortable with our farming system and it's helping us. So please, the executive governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, we want you to please create time to look into this matter. Yes, there is a document with my friend already, Dr. Tunde, the director of Basli Company, that he bought the land. But we want you to come and look into the fraudulent process that the people who sold this land went through, so that we can have everything resolved. I'm not saying Mr. Tunde should be chased out. No. The very place we marked that the government can take, even the former governor Obaseki sent his agents. We were there with them, we marked it, that this area is free. We have not been farming here for years. But before we knew it, they took over the entire reserve, both where people are farming. They've destroyed people's crops. They've rendered people useless. They've rendered people to nothing. Please, this is time to farm. Now people don't have where to farm. The 45 hectares he's saying is giving to the people. It's not anywhere near. It's not anywhere near the portion of land that will be enough for the people to farm. The same thing that happened in my community happened in other communities. The same process the former administration used in my community went around the entire 17 communities, villages. That's why I see that everyone is bitter. And we are together. The people that work with government, yes, they are also from those villages, from these villages, but they don't farm. They are just in Benin, looking for huge amount of money. So immediately they were influenced. They came in. They brought these people in. They were able to give the secret. You work with soldiers and all of that. And I want to speak to Nigeria Army to please address your soldiers. I don't believe the heads of this military can assign soldiers to come and run such activity. It's not proper. You see thousands of people crying before you that this is their livelihood. As a soldier, you have to maintain law and order. Even though you have been employed, you will talk to your employer. Please, look into this. Employee can call an employer and tell the employer, this is what is right for you to do. You don't say because you are being paid, you go ahead to carry out activities that even injure people's lives. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I spoke to one of the soldiers 101. You have village. Mr. Tunde, my own friend, the Barnsley company director, has a village. I believe his village people will need that minimum wage than my people. Because my people will never accept minimum wage. They will never. To work for anybody to be receiving minimum wage, my people will never do it. Because everyone we know our worth. We just family alone. We know our worth. A lot of our children are graduates. The same family system was what we used. We are not suffering. We are not suffering for you to come and reduce us to just minimum wage. It is just now we just started suffering. Now that the government reserve have been taken away from us. That is why we are begging the executive governor to please come into this matter. The place we pegged before is still there. Obaseki came. When we pegged it, we showed him the place. They said, okay. But before we knew it, they started working in the areas where people are farming. That's the problem we have. We are not also saying that government cannot use the other part of the reserve that is free. But they shouldn't come and take over the ones that we are using to survive. At least before you do such a thing, you should be able to put some certain things into consideration. What the people will do to make sure that you want to do will not affect them. But presently, what is going on in the government reserve has affected the people negatively. Please, the executive governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, take time to look into the government reserve, the Sakmomba reserve. Please, your attention is needed, sir. Thank you so much.
Now we don't hear from Endurance Ogiagbe. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video. Make you help us share. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.